I recently watched a Pokemon challenge race between Point Crow and Small Ant where they played through Pokemon Emerald, but on a version of the game where every warp had been randomized. Every doorway, staircase, or warp zone no longer goes where it should. I wanted to try this challenge for myself, but with a more familiar generation of Pokemon. Using the mod tools from Point Crow's Discord, I randomized my copy of Fire Red and began the randomized challenge. I chose Charmander as my starter and quickly beat my rival Keith and then set off to Viridian City. Things became difficult almost immediately. The warp to the Pokemart where you would normally collect Oak's Parcel was no longer correct. This meant no Pokedex and no Pokeballs. So for a long time I was stuck with my starter whiting out as I tried to make it across some of the higher level rooms. I found Sylph Tower eventually and realised that the number of doorways combined with the lift not being randomised meant that I had a high chance of finding what I was looking for. This is a gym. This is Erica. Right, down this staircase, and now I'm in the power plant. If I can actually get some decent Pokeballs, I can catch Zapdos, and that's huge. Let's check what's upstairs. Oh, Sabrina. Back out because definitely not ready for this gym. Down the stairs, and what's down the stairs? Another gym. This is Blaine. The main problem was that our starter was not nearly high enough level to be moving around freely. And without finding any Pokemarts, we couldn't buy any Pokeballs, Great Balls, or Ultra Balls, which means we couldn't catch anything at a higher level. Our luck changed when, by complete accident, I managed to find the Safari Zone. The Safari Zone gives you a set amount of balls to catch Pokemon with, and it doesn't rely on the Pokemon in your party to weaken them. It's all by random chance, so this was actually perfect for us. I used the Safari Zone to catch a few higher level Pokemon to go with my Charmander. This would let us explore the map with a little more confidence. One of the most important of the new catches was Dojo, whose native ability lets us run from any encounter. I also found a Leaf Stone that would let us immediately evolve my Execute into Executor. Tried for a little while to catch some of the rarer Pokemon, but eventually just settled with what I had, and collected Surf and the Warden's Teeth, which would eventually let us collect Strength. However, we couldn't use either of these abilities without badges. With the team composition stronger, I was able to start taking on some of the Pokemon trainers and swap leveling my starter. But unfortunately, my new team still had its limits. I started to find some of my objectives. I found Agatha on the SS Anne, but without a way to exit and no saves, I had to unfortunately take the L and die. Continuing my quest to find Brock or Oak's Parcel, I found it legendary in an unlikely place. Because I would like the Pokedex, please. Holy shit! That's fucking huge! Route 6 Underground Path. I found my rival as the champion of the Elite Four, which would mark the end game for us. Unfortunately, I had no way to beat him, so I had to take the hard L and come back at a later stage. Although seeking revenge, I then decided to take on my rival at Nugget Bridge. After beating my rival, we explored a little more and found another member of the Elite Four, making notes and accepting another TPK. Without any of the badges, the mobility of my team was reduced to wandering aimlessly. We couldn't use any HM move outside of battle, and we had no Pokemon who could use Teleport or Dig. Our team was still high level 20s, which meant that there was a war of attrition to be waged. We could get around, but we would slowly be ground down. While randomly clearing out the SS Anne, we found Misty. Fuck! My team was all dead except for Executor, but I decided to give it my all anyway. I think I might actually be able to tank this with just Executor. Staryu? Well. Go on. Oh, confused. Right. Come on. Come on. Chance would be a fine thing. Thanks, Sonia. Yes! Okay. Right. Right. It doesn't matter which door it was, because she's fucking dead. I managed to take out Misty and claim the second Kanto badge. I also developed a strong emotional bond with my Executor, who I was very proud of. Go Executor. Did you see him? Fucking flapping them about and that. Didn't stand a chance. We carried on with our quest to find Brock, any of the other gym leaders, or Pokeballs, and we started chipping away at the rockets in Sylph Tower and finally evolved our starter into Charmeleon. Executor? Absolutely smashing it. I love this lad. We continued on slowly, leveling up until we eventually found the captain of the SS Anne and earned Cut. Being the dumbest person alive, I found the Indigo Plateau base camp and ignored the fact that the shop there would sell me Ultra Balls and left. This is the start of the Elite Four. I then take on the Rocket Grunt who's holding onto the lift key card in the Rocket Hideout, which should eventually let us take on the first Giovanni fight. Yes! Lift key, right. Right, that's an important key item. While clearing out the Rocket Hideout, I also found a Moonstone, which meant we could finally evolve Nidorino. And now we've got a Nidoking! Yes! With Executor and Nidoking in our team, we defeat Giovanni with relative ease, gaining the Sylph Scope. While this wasn't a goal, this would actually help us eventually unlock the Poké Flute, which would remove Snorlax and unlock more warps in the overworld. Along the way I found Bill and restored him to his human form and got the SS Ant ticket. Not a huge thing, but it would unlock one more warp zone for me. The amount of things you have to remember in a challenge like this, the confusion can really build up, and I found myself completely forgetting what I was trying to do. Fuck! I went through the wrong door! I went through the wrong fucking door! And I want the first door on the right. And then I want to go up the stairs to Diglett Cave, come out here. Yes. Wait, where was I going? Where was I trying to go? Right, Sylph. So I think I explored floor 5. Let's go 6. Upstairs is Agatha. Shit! Shitting hell. I'm going to have a crack at Erica. Because I feel like I can do this. Although out of order, it was a smart move to fight Erica because it gave my Charmeleon lots of XP to level up on. And it also lets us use strength outside of battle. Not as useful as Fly would have been, but it does unlock certain warps, so not bad at all really. With 2 badges, I felt like my morale was improved and I was ready to find the rest of the gym leaders and get more badges. I think I was exploring the 6th floor on this. No, Agatha again! Takes me to Mount Ember. I don't want to be on Mount Ember, although I want to see if there's anything on Mount Ember that's going to be useful. Fuck, you know. I've just ruined this game. I've just ruined the fucking... Why did I walk up there? Why did I walk up to the top of the fucking mountain? Fuck! Fuckity! Fuck it! Oh wait, shit, he comes back. What? Why did I do it again? I'm not 100% on how the warp zones work in this randomizer, but it would seem like the legendary encounter for Ho-Oh was actually repeatable, which meant that I could come back at a later stage when I'd found some Pokeballs. Thankfully. After going through Sylph Tower floor by 4, we eventually found HM2. Oh, who's this? Oh! Oh, HM2 girl! Yes! I've got Fly! Exploring some of the cities and doors in the overworld, we eventually found Koga, the leader of the 5th gym. But deciding that we were getting ahead of ourselves, we decided to go back to exploring. At the exit to Rock Tunnel in Lavender Town, we finally found Brock. We took on Brock with our current team and easily won ourselves the first Kanto gym badge. Exploring more of the areas around Celadon City, we finally found the 8th gym. Giovanni! Okay! Okay, so we're just missing Lieutenant Surge, and then it's grindy bum time. 2 badges, and around an hour and a half into the run, we finally found our first... a Pokemon! Watching the footage back, this is super painful because I ignored all of the Celadon department store entrances and the Indigo Plateau shops. I must buy Great Ball, but nevertheless, I was still happy. With a bag full of Great Balls, I set about trying to replace some of the weaker members of my team, particularly the Venonat. I had my eye on quite a nice Haunter before he decided to kill himself, and then... Do I go for it with just Great Balls? I saved the game before I started and I did TPK a couple of times. I had managed to pick up 1 Ultra Ball on my travels, but this wasn't enough. After enough ball spam, I eventually caught Zapdos. Zapdos on the team, it was back to searching for Lieutenant Surge and the remaining members of the Elite Four. Lorelei, okay. Hunt for Lieutenant Surge, our Doduo evolved into Dodrio, and we decided to take on our rival in Lavender Tower. Wake up and use confusion, you fuck. Just fucking kill him! He's got such little health, you can step on him. Yes! Thank you, Jesus. At this point, the ambient Pokemon music I'd been listening to from the original soundtrack suddenly got weird. I have no idea what we're listening to now, lads. What is happening? After the madness was done, we decided to explore the Celadon department store and finally found Oak's parcel. Unfortunately, when we took this to Professor Oak, he didn't give us a Pokédex and instead rated our non-existent Pokédex. Seems like the game was in a glitch state, but since we'd already found shops to buy Great Balls and Ultra Balls in, this didn't really make much of a difference in the run. After I stopped being such a dum-dum, I realised the Sylph keycard was actually really accessible, and once I got that, I should be able to make a straight shot at Giovanni get the Master Ball, and clear out the Rocket Grunts from Saffron City so that I could access a few more doorways. I also finally went back to Indigo Plateau and bought myself some Ultra Balls before deciding to take on my rival in Sylph Tower. Idiot. Searching for the CEO's office in Sylph Tower gave me some time to muse on my team. I actually love Eggbot. I don't know why I've had such a good time with Executor. I normally hate him. I think he's really badly designed. He looks stupid as fuck. He's got 3 faces and no crack. And yet, he's carried this whole game for us. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of this community. With the key card, we finally managed to unlock some doorways, access some warps, and gain access to strength. We also found Lance, which was the last member of the Elite Four that we hadn't found yet. After getting lost trying to find the Sylph CEO's office, we decided to rescue Mr. Fuji and get the Poké Flute. Stumbling into one of the holes in C4 Island caves, we finally found Lieutenant Surge and were able to claim the 3rd Kanto Gym Badge. This was the last thing that we were missing from our list and now gave us a straight shot at the end of the game. The fight with Koga was actually a little out of my level range, so I decided to take on Giovanni at the Sylph Tower and get the Master Ball so that I could capture at least one of the legendaries I'd found. I decided that of the two, Ho-Oh was the one I wanted to waste my Master Ball on. 2 legendaries on the team and a legendary Egg Boy, we were quickly able to take care of Koga, earning ourselves the 5th Gym Badge and unlocking the ability to use Surf outside of battle. Again, feeling a little bit of a level diff, I decided to head to Cerulean Cave and catch some high level Pokemon. In an intense battle of Psychic Minds, Eggy Boy faced off against level 58 Kadabra and managed to weaken him enough so that we could catch him in an Ultra Ball. The level 58 Kadabra was added to the team, replacing Lapras, who really wasn't doing his job very well. What I didn't realise while going through Cerulean Cave is that I almost got up to Mewtwo, but in a strange display of power, a Golduck managed to take out my Ho-Oh and I wiped and TPK'd. I didn't realise it, but at the time I was mere steps away from Mewtwo. Through a strange quirk in the randomizer, I decided to set sail and head to Vermilion, heading back through the doorway into the Pokemart, then back out into Lavender and accidentally went into the encounter with Bruno. Still with no Pokemon to let me escape, I had to engage in the fight and was expecting a TPK. However... Oh, I get one shot! You're damn right I want to learn fucking Ice Beam. Despite the incredible start that Lapras had, the rest of the fight didn't go so well. Most of my party wiped and I was down to the last 2 Pokemon versus my Ho-Oh. I knew that the fighting type would eventually take him out, but I managed to get in one lucky Fire Blast. It was a mistake to come in here and I've just fucking done it. High off my win against Bruno, I decided it was time to catch Lugia. Grinding down Lugia was incredibly annoying because no matter how much I damaged him, he would always recover and then manage to defeat the Pokemon I was using to grind him down with. In the end, I could only grind him down with Ho-Oh, who was the only one strong enough to tank his blasts. And when he was finally at low HP... Okay, that's low health. First fucking ball! First fucking ball! I decided to make one final team rearrangement, dropped Lapras and Nidoking from the team in favour of Lugia and the Kadabra that I caught earlier. This made our final team our starter Charmeleon, Executor, Kadabra from Cerulean Cave, Zapdos, Ho-Oh and Lugia. I just want Executor to make it to the end. I'm going to leave him there, Sonia. He's not going anywhere, don't you worry. With our team of legendaries and legendary eggs, we finally defeated Sabrina, and then with ease took on Blaine and defeated him as well, earning our 6th and 7th gym badges. While trying to get outside to get to Giovanni, that's Lance, fuck. And after a reasonably close fight, Swift. Come on, Lugia, come on. Last bit, last one. Yes! Beat Lance. Right, okay, that's 2 of the Elite Four done. After finally finding a way to get back out into the overworld, we flew to Celadon and went on to Giovanni's gym. Our Charmeleon managed to take on a Tauros and finally get level 36, which meant that it finally evolved into Charizard. With strong psychic types on our team, it was easy to take down Giovanni, and before long we had the 8th and final Kanto Gym Badge, meaning all we had to do was defeat the Elite Four and it was game over. We gunned straight for Lorelei, knowing exactly where to find her. The fight was pretty intense despite our high levels, and it was down to 1v1. Thankfully, Lugia had managed to hurt Jinx enough so that all Ho had to do was come out swinging and use one Swift, and we defeated our first member of the Elite Four. Since Bruno had already been defeated, we could skip him, and that meant that there was an old score we had to settle. Agatha is next, everyone's favourite old bitch. Despite having bumped into her so much in the early game, it took us a while to find Agatha, but the fight was relatively easy, even Charizard taking a kill. And then this happened. I think I've got this. This is done. Oh, nice arm sleep. I slept. I'm back up. Oh, and she fucking killed herself. She killed us. She used Curse on our last Pokemon with that much HP left. She's actually just threw the game. Agatha, you piece of shit. You couldn't just let us win, could you? You couldn't just let us win. With Agatha dead, there was only one more fight to take on. We needed to get to the ground floor of the Celadon department store, take the right exit, and then we could fight our rival, Keith. I'm standing on top of him. Because I've come in through the wrong door. Alright, here we go, lads. Here we fucking go. The fight started off badly, with Exeggutor going down straight away to an aerial ace, but Charizard managed to retort by burning Pidgeot with a flamethrower and almost taking him out. Our rival had to use a full restore on Pidgeot and then swap out to Blastoise to avoid death. Unfortunately, Blastoise then took care of Charizard. I attempted to take advantage of the type diff and use Zapdos against Blastoise, but he was quickly withdrawn and replaced with Rhydon before I could deliver any killing blows. Rhydon was hugely resistant to Zapdos, and I eventually swapped him for Lugia so I could use Water-type moves, and a Hydro Pump managed to take care of him pretty swiftly. I kept Lugia tagged in because it seemed like he could quickly take care of Arcanine, and after just 2 hits, our rival sent Blastoise back onto the field. I once again tried to take advantage of the type diff, but when I brought out Zapdos, I unfortunately died immediately, leaving me with only 3 Pokemon. I tried to use Kadabra's psychic abilities and managed to take down Blastoise, and it seemed from this point that the rest of the fight was going to be pretty easy. Pidgeot went down to a simple psychic attack, Alakazam went down to Lugia Swift. After my rival unveiled his final Pokemon of Exeggutor, I decided the only honourable thing to do would be to revive my Exeggutor just so that he could be there to witness the end of this challenge. With my Exeggutor back alive, I decided to use Ho-Oh to finish the fight. One Fire Blast almost took Exeggutor out in 1 hit, but he survived on 1 HP and was fully restored. We then continued to use Fire Blast and eventually won the fight. Keith was defeated and our challenge was done. Keith, I'm disappointed in you. Keith, do you understand it's because your name's Keith? People who are called Keith are not winners. What a team. What a team. Winners. Team of absolute heroes. And that concludes the challenge. It's incredibly difficult to play a randomizer like this because you have to keep track of so many different areas and paths and routes. And because of the random nature of where you can find yourself, the difficulty curve is incredibly large. You need to catch high-level things almost immediately, but if you're an idiot like me, it takes a long time to find Ultra Balls to be able to catch things like this. I got fortunate because I found the Safari Zone quite early on, but I'd like to play other randomizer versions of this to see what other challenges can come up, as well as check out some of the other randomizer challenges and other challenge ROMs that are out there. This brings me on to my final thanks. I'd like to thank the community who've spent so long putting in effort and time and work on these randomizer challenges to keep this game so fresh. There's still a real heart and soul, pun intended, behind the Pokemon community, and I love that. I'm looking forward to playing some of the other challenges, but for now, this is the end of the randomizer challenge. Thank you if you managed to make it all the way to the end. I'll catch you in the next challenge.